Hello, I am D-Man, and we're finally here. It's time to rank the Total Drama Island Reboot characters. And you know what? Let's just start with Z. Let's not have an intro. Let's just get right into it. Z? Ah, I like this dude. Oh, he's fun. He is a funny one. Oh, I'm gonna put him in light. I'm gonna put him in light. I like this dude. He doesn't really have any story. Well, okay. In the first season, he's an amputee. That's cool. And then in the episode where he's eliminated, they had to find some way to get rid of him, so they just made Z team up with everyone, and sure, we got to get rid of him somehow. Um, the second season, they actually have him do something. They have him like keep it a secret with Caleb and that, and it's a little more interesting, to have Z, do something other than comic relief, which I think Z is good comic relief, but that's what he is. That's what he is. But then they had to get rid of Z again, and they're like, well, how the hell do we get rid of Z? Because he's just too likable. So they had him just do what Scary Girl did in the first episode, and just told a bunch of stuff that creeped everyone out. Which I've got to be honest, that's a bit could have thought of something else. I'm just saying that's a little bit shit, but whatever. I like Z though. I mean, he's just a lot of good moments. There's just a lot of funny moments with this guy. Scary Girl. The best way to describe Scary Girl is that she's like a Pahkitew Island character. However, I'm not saying that as a bad thing necessarily, because she's the only character here who's like really kind of just like really strange. And because Scary Girl's the only character that's like weird, she bounces off a lot of people. She bounces off, Damien and Bria and all, Chris. It's fun to see that how people deal with this frankly absurd person. Um, and I mean, this is one of those cases where you're either gonna like Scary Girl's gimmick, or you're not gonna like Scary Girl's gimmick. I like Scary Girl's gimmick. I think it's funny. Um, they don't overstay. She doesn't overstay a welcome either, which is good. First season, 4 episodes, perfect. Second season, they eliminate her right away. Okay, you could have made. Now, there was actually something there, like Scary Girl trying to be normal. They could have actually done something with that, but no, they just kick her off right away. I actually probably I don't like that too much, but it is what it is. I get it. Um, speaking of speaking of Scary Girl, we got Damien who gets scared an awful lot. Um, not just from Scary Girl, but just from a lot of things in general. He's cool. He's cool. First season, he's all right. He basically just starts as the guy who has never seen the show and is just he's basically like the noob, the novice, and eventually he's just like, I need to go. And then eventually he's like, oh, I actually want to stay. And then that's when he gets voted off. Cool. Um, Damien in the first season is good, but just not really exceptional or anything. I mean, I do like the Damien and Scary Girl moments, but Damien in the second season they give him a little bit to do. They actually have him like find the immunity idol. That's pretty cool, and they give him a plot with Millie in the second season, and I like that plot a lot. Having Millie betray Damien, and Damien just can't really hold the grudge for too long, and you just know Damien's a good guy in that regard. Um, there's elimination in the second season. I don't like it. I mean, I think it's kind of dumb, but I'm sure I'll talk about that later. I do like Damien. I don't love Damien, but um, just for record, Damien and Z would be like high up. I almost love these characters, but it's just something, it's just a little lacking. Axel. Okay. A lot better than Eva, is what I can say. Um, for some reason they decide to have this like you know how Sean is like preparing for the zombie apocalypse, which is a very specific thing. Well, they do that with Axel too, which didn't need to do that, but it's fine because it's not really the prominent part of Axel. Axel in the first season is good. I mean, I like her in the two episodes that she's in. Um, I just like her seriousness, and I just love her survivalist attitude, and how, I remember in the second episode she like cooks up some squirrel, and like Chase is like, "Ew, I don't want to touch anything to do with that." And it's you know Axel's really good at the challenge and stuff, but she's just a bit, maybe she's just thinking a little bit like, I don't know what the word is. Maybe she's just maybe like overly harsh, or maybe overly, I guess just she's too much in that survival mindset, which isn't that necessary. But um, Axel in the second season, I like it. I like it. So I'm one of those people. I like Axel and Ripper. That's cool. They should have built up more to it, but um, it's really good to see another side of Axel, this more romantic side, which you wouldn't think you would get from someone like Axel. But I think that's maybe why I like it. And then once Ripper and Axel are a couple, it's fine. Sort of like a Jeff Bridget thing where they just kind of make it all the time, but a little bit funnier, I would say. Mostly though, it's that sort of thing, which is it's fine, but it's not as interesting as it could be. Um, I like Axel. More or less. A little bit, just like a smidge more. Okay, Ripper. All right. Some people hate this guy. Putting him at the top so far. I this character should not work. All right. This is like the try-hard alpha. He's trying to be alpha, but he's not. And I don't know why. First of all, I don't know why Ripper is so funny to me. He makes me laugh probably the most. Um, and that says a lot because a lot of Ripper's jokes are just stupid fart jokes, which they they fucking love to put in every season. I swear to God, it's way too much, but whatever. Ignore that part of Ripper. Ignore the fart part of Ripper. Can't believe I've got to say that. But there's like three characters where I can say that about. But anyways, I mean, I like going, so Ripper, I mean, I just like he tries so hard, but he's just kind of a loser. But he's also not so malicious that he's like unlikable. There's just enough going on there. It's like, okay, I kind of understand what this guy's about. There's a little bit of sympathy, like, especially in the second season. I like Ripper in the second season where you really get to see this. You do get to see a nicer side to Ripper. To have Ripper try and impress Axel, and failing kind of miserably, kind of succeeding at the same time. But to see how hard Ripper tries, it's like, I gotta respect that a little bit. Even in the finale of the first season, he tries to help Millie in his own weird way, but he does. He's like, get in the game, Millie. He's not just a complete piece of shit. Um, so I like there's like a sympathetic angle a little bit. Unlike this next character who there's no sympathy at all. It's Chase. Um, on purpose for the record, that you're not supposed to sympathize with Chase, and if you do, oh, okay. Um, I definitely see what they're going for here. It's the YouTuber. I mean, I have to like Chase, right? He's all right. He is my biggest issue with Chase is not that he is obnoxious and just pretty much just genuinely a really bad person. Because I like a lot of characters that are just awful people. But I find with Chase in particular, I just don't find him especially interesting. I guess I just think Chase is a bit too like one note. You know, you see Chase, you know what you're gonna get. There's, you know, it's not like again Ripper where like he's for the most part like you know what you're gonna get with Ripper. But like occasionally you'll be like, oh, okay, even someone yeah, I mean I'm just thinking of someone like Chris, right? Horrible human being, but there's a few moments where you go, that's a little, you're not quite sure, you're surprised when they do something nice actually. And Chase, he's just not capable of that. And if he ever did, it would honestly feel wrong. Like it would feel wrong. But that is just the kind of character Chase is meant to be. Chase is meant to be the awful, awful, ex-boyfriend to Emma here. I'm overall I'm actually neutral on Chase. I think he does his job fine in the first season, and I mean in the second season they get rid of him quickly, which I'm fine with, even if I think that elimination is just kind of okay. Here we got Emma, and no, this is not the Redonkulous Race Emma. This is the reboot Emma. They, I, I don't know why they gave two characters the exact same name. Yes, I know in real life people have the same name, but this is total drama. Does this look like real life to you? Anyways, enough about that. Emma is alright. First season, she's basically just got a vendetta against Chase, and it works. I like Emma's I do love Emma's like spitefulness. It's amusing in some ways. It is also annoying how she just keeps coming back to Chase, and I mean in a way I feel kind of bad. Like it's like Emma, you're getting duped so bad. But at the same time, it's like you come on, Emma, please, please learn. And she never really does. And then yeah, in the second season, it's just like Emma just everything. The characters basically just all go against her, and it just it's kind of rough. Emma has a pretty rough time, I'll be honest. I like her more. I'm not putting her in neutral as well, but I do like her more than Chase because Emma's got some interesting stuff. Oh, Millie, okay. Millie in the first season doesn't do a whole lot. Like, until the finale, when then Millie gets a bit more interesting. First season, Millie is neutral. I actually like Millie more in the second season. She's not in it for long, but I just really like the plot with Millie pushing Damien down that 4 point like slide or whatever, and just like that is crazy for Millie to do, and I like that Millie is like, but I'm justifying it. We won because of it, and I'm like, I like that. I actually like that Millie tries to. If Millie immediately apologized to Damien, it would be like, but the fact that Millie kind of doubles down, I'm like, I like that, and I just like that Millie is slightly. She's a good person, but I do like those occasional selfish moments the most, I think. Um, I'm gonna put Millie at the bottom of the like. I like her, but she's barely she's getting there, but Priya. Priya is in every single episode of both seasons. First season, I think Priya is pretty good. Perfectly fine winner. I would have preferred Bowie, but I get why Priya winning makes more sense, I think, narratively. Because Bowie was kind of a dick in the first season, so I get why they wouldn't want him to win. But anyways, Priya been training her whole life by her parents. Um, they they don't really explore that angle as much as I'd like. The fact that her parents are frankly not very good. Um, it's mentioned like maybe once or twice in the first season and like once in the second season. It's not really a thing. Um, Priya, just your sort of typical nice girl, a little shy, you know, athletic, sort of a Sky 2.0 or a Zoe 3.0. It's kind of one of those characters. Um, there are some differences, and we get to see more of that. We get to see that in the finale of the first season, um, and a lot more in the second season. Um, Priya definitely has an angry, angry streak. When Priya is angry, holy shit, is she pissed? Um, it's both interesting and honestly, in the second season more so, I do kind of feel bad for Caleb a little bit. It's a little bit sad. Um, Otherwise, I would like Priya and Caleb, and I kind of do. Actually, like Priya X Caleb is I like it enough, but yeah, it's hard to say. Um, I do like Priya, but honestly, uh, oh god, yeah. I, if it was just the first season, she'd be high, but I do think the second season does bring it down just a little bit, especially with how long Priya is in the game, knowing full well that she's not going to win because she already won. I mean, they could have made Priya win twice in a row, but like, are you fucking kidding me? There's no. I would rather anyone else win. I would rather Chase win. Like, come on. All right. Next up, we've got Caleb. First season, he does absolutely nothing. Is eliminated. Actually, when he gets eliminated, it's pretty funny. But first season, we can just ignore him. And the show ignores him too. The second season, I like what they try and do at first. They try and have Caleb at first look like maybe another Justin or an Alejandro. He's gonna try and manipulate the competition with his looks. But the twist, unlike with Alejandro and Justin, is that Caleb, he just can't do it. He tries to, and he just kind of sucks at it. He's just not that manipulative sort of person. And which is kind of a nice change of pace actually. And eventually we get to see that Caleb trying to get Priya to vote with him by making her like him sort of makes Caleb like Priya too, which that's cool. Um, but yeah, a lot of the second season is this conflict with Caleb and Priya again and again. I mean, it does get a little tiring after a while. Caleb eventually works with Julia at some point, and it's just a little bit of a. Caleb's very flip-floppity in that, I guess, in that case. Um, uh, oh god, do I like Caleb? I don't dislike Caleb. Caleb's not super funny. He's just hmm. I will say I actually like Caleb's voice too. I don't know why. Caleb's voice is quite cool. I'm gonna put him at the bottom of the line. I'm gonna put him at the bottom of the line. He just scrapes in. I think I do like Caleb. I think I like Caleb more than Emma anyways. It's just yeah. I mean Caleb just doesn't do anything super crazy, but I like what he's about. Bowie. Oh, Bowie. Uh Bowie in the first season is genuinely so fucking good. His planning, okay, the Caleb's elimination is a bit, but it's a first elimination, so it's always kind of a bit like you kind of got to rush it. But otherwise, it's like, man, Bowie's whole game plan is it's really well thought out, and it's sort of built up throughout the whole season and everything. And then, um, you then also have Bowie having a romance plot with Raj, and that's pretty damn cool as well. And so Bowie in the first season would be like here. The second season of Bowie is also really solid, but obviously Bowie is sort of targeted a lot in that season and just doesn't quite get that staying power. I mean, the plot he has is like he wants to cheat, and the hockey dudes don't want him to cheat, and so Bowie's trying to cheat in secret. It's fine. Um, Overall, I'm putting Bowie just below Ripper. Um, Take that what you will, but I mean, Bowie is still really, really cool. I like him a lot. He's got some funny moments too as well. All right, now we got the hockey dudes. Oh, we got Raj. Um, Raj is all right. I mean, they're very similar, but there is obviously one big difference between them. Well, I guess two. Raj, Raj is sort of coming out. I think it's well done. I think Raj himself is. He feels like the slightly quieter, maybe slightly smarter of the two. I don't know. Just Raj, he's cool, but he's just not like he's just not my favorite, right? He's just not my favorite. And Wayne is the winner of the second season, and I don't know how I feel about that. Because on the one hand, they're sort of going for he's just a likable guy, but on the other hand, god damn, is Wayne. Wayne is dumb. Like even in the finale, Wayne is like it's kind of crazy. Like and genuinely, I think Wayne and Raj are dumber in the second season than in the first. And I don't mind dumb characters winning necessarily. I mean, I would love if Lindsay won action, but that's what it is. But I doesn't, for some reason with Wayne, I don't dislike him being a winner, just for the record. I especially like the episode before where he helps the intern out. That was actually kind of a sweet moment. And Wayne, Wayne does do some stuff in the season, in season two. I'm sort of more talking about that tries to. I can sort of see where they're going with. I just remembered another moment where Wayne sort of defends Priya from Caleb. That's pretty cool too, actually. But then you got episodes where like Wayne is just away from the challenge the whole episode. He's just off floating away from the island. It's like, what did he do there? Not much. Um, uh, I think I like Wayne slightly more than Raj. I kind of like the Julia angle a little bit with Wayne. I don't know, that Julia Wayne thing is a little interesting. Maybe that's why Wayne gets the edge. And yeah, speaking of Julia, big mean, big bad. So when we first see Julia, she just looks like your typical like Instagram influencer. You know, Julia, she's fine at first, and then we slowly start to unpack the piece, and we see that Julia is actually a very mean person. And then Julia all of a sudden goes on a bit of a rampage, and Julia is angry. Um, and then Julia survives a bullshit elimination in the first season against MK. I don't like that elimination. I will say that's a trend with Julia. I don't like. I just don't. I guess the problem is I just don't believe Julia can survive. You know, all the eliminations she does survive, and I don't believe the way she gets rid of a lot of contestants in season 2. However, Heather from Total Drama Island is also sort of like that. So, I mean, I do like Julia, but it's sort of like imagine if Heather never got. Imagine if Total Drama Action World Tour didn't exist and you just had Heather and Island. It'd be alright. Mean Girl creates some drama for sure. In fact, Julie probably creates more drama, and even has that genuine friendship with MK, which is very cool. I mean, I would not be surprised if there is a third season that they just start dating. I think they probably should do that in the third season, just because that would be something different for both of Julia and MK to do. But getting a little off track, Julia, she creates the drama, but there's no redemption like with Heather. There's no everyone sort of making fun of her or anything, or like there's not really much of that going on at all. And so I think it kind of feels like Julie gets away with too much. And so that's annoying to me, I'll be honest. But I do like what she adds drama-wise. More so in the first season. But in the second season, she does do some cool stuff as well. I don't necessarily buy all the eliminations, but I mean, I think I definitely see what they're going for. And I think it kind of works. But I mean, I like Julia. Yeah. I don't love Julia. In fact, it seems like I just like most of the characters. MK. It's MK. She's not a ton to actually say about MK. I mean, I like MK in the first season. I do like her more in the second. When MK and Julia working together is definitely that's when both characters are at their best, when they're with each other, working together in the second season. I'm not gonna lie, that is actually a lot of fun. MK overall is right there, I think. Yeah, that feels about right. And then finally we've got Nichelle, the sort of Hollywood star. First season, yeah, turns out she's very bad. She doesn't actually do her own stunts. Wow. And then she cries a bunch, and it's it's kind of, I don't like it. And then the second season they make her a OP. And then Nichelle takes a dumb bullet and just quits. Ugh. I don't like Nichelle. I'll be honest, I don't like Nichelle. That they could do something interesting with Nichelle. And if there is ever a third season, this is who I want the villain to be. I want Nichelle to be the villain. I think she's capable of it. She's got the strength in terms of the challenges. She just needs the strategy. And if Nichelle is willing to learn some strategy, I think she could be a beast. It also would make me like her more. But yeah, there we go. That's where I stand with the Total Drama Reboot cast. I like most of them. A few I love, and a few I'm like a little iffy on. But honestly, it's a solid cast overall. And yeah, if you've gone through all these videos, thank you very much, first of all. And secondly, I gotta be honest, I don't think I put a single person in the hate or the worst, because no character's like so unbelievably bad that I hate them. I just don't hate anyone. Like, at worst, it's just like it kind of suck a little bit, but it's like the ones that do suck tend to go pretty quickly as well. So it's not like that. Even if they do suck, they're not there for long. And so I mean, yeah, there's just no one I just don't have that passion to really hate a character. But I mean, I do like a decent amount of characters, which I mean that's probably better than not. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this series of me ranking all the Total Drama characters. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.